Hey folks, Jang here from ultimaterc.com, and I'm going to show you in real time the process of installing and removing a battery in the Axial EXO Terra. Your mileage may vary, your specific setup may give you a different experience than this, but I've done a bit of practice with the way that I have this set up, and this is how it works best for me. And this is going to be the direct connect version, where a battery has the direct leads that are already directly connected inside of the case. So it's a hard case, but they're in here. This will be similar for a soft case that pretty much any soft case will have your wire leads coming straight off the battery cells themselves. So it all happens on the right hand side of the vehicle, and they've specifically designed it to be easier than it could be with the Axial EXO to get into your battery compartment. It's just two little body clips. I'll take those off, and this whole side of the body just pops right off. It kind of clips in there, and there you go. You have access to your battery tray underneath there. Now, there's a little bit of prep work that you'll want to do here. First of all, be mindful of where these hold down straps are, because you're going to need to manage them and keep them out of the way without letting them get pushed all the way back where you won't be able to get to them again. Also, depending upon the length of the wire, the main power wire coming out of your ESC, it may be more or less difficult to do this. Just a fair warning, if you're looking at this before building an Axial EXO, try to have lots and lots of extra length on your ESC wire if you can. Let it be able to come out all the way. It's just going to make it a lot easier. I'm going to start the process here after making sure everything's roughly in place by plugging the battery in, and I'm going to put the battery in this way so the power leads are going to be towards the rear. I'm going to plug it in now all the way like so, and then as I feed this in, I'm going to try to make the power wires go this way. I'm going to try to make them bend forward, and that's very important because otherwise everything will start to get scrunched up back there and might get pushed down against the drive shaft, and you really don't want all that badness happening. So a lot of things to focus on managing with your fingers, the placements of different things, is these rubber straps. This top one on the right, it's going to need to go towards the right. The one on the left is going to need to go towards the left. And then both of these little the hooks down at the bottom need to be towards you, towards the outward position as you start to feed the battery in. So again, the power lead, I'm going to make sure it bends over to the right or towards the front of the vehicle, and I'm going to put the back end of the battery in first. And just take that straight in at this sort of diagonal angle here. And there that goes. And just making sure the wire lead is staying towards the right so it doesn't bunch up. Use your smallest fingers. If you have large fingers, it's going to be an extremely difficult process. Let's see. All right, so keeping tabs of everything. This lower hook needs to be down. The battery's now on top of that lower hook. This right rubber thing is being moved over to the right, and I'm going to try to focus on turning the battery now. Make sure this left rear rubber strap is up so the battery is going underneath it. Make sure this lower hook on the rear side is towards you, and focusing on turning the battery, not pushing it in, but turning it as much as I can. And there it goes, and it's going to start to settle in a little bit. There, it just settled down. Now this rubber strap right here is accessible to me. This is free, and then I just need to locate the rubber strap on the right, which is right here. There it is, and I'm going to do a double check, just a visual, to make sure that everything's good in there with the power lead. Looks like the power lead is good. It is going across this way, and then towards the ESC it makes a bend, like a Z bend, going back. All of this process is putting a lot of pressure and scraping on the body itself, the interior bit of the body. So if you've only painted this top interior detail section, if you have it on there at all, if you've only painted it from the underside, you're screwed, because it will get completely scraped up. and eventually you'll just be able to see through it. Be sure to paint it from the top also if you're looking at this video before actually building an EXO. And now I'm just going to pull this down and it's going to hook under there. So that's good. And then here's the other side. Make sure I got to it. Get a good grip on that. Pull it out. Use the other finger. There it goes. It slips right in. And now that is there. And then the final steps will be to put the body back on. So the body, I'm going to insert the rear section first. And then this here actually needs to go behind this little bit of body. So that went in first. It has to go behind the shock. And now I'm going to bend this inward, the end of this inward, to fit behind this piece of Lexan here. So it actually snaps behind there. If it goes in front, it will work, but it's not ideal. You're going to have this sticking out. That could get broken off. It's better to have it tucked under. That's the way it's designed. Tucked under and behind. Fits in there very nicely. And then finish the whole thing off with your body clip here, and then one at the rear. I do recommend making this one face down, or excuse me, face towards the rear. Less chances of freak accidents as you're driving, just popping it right off. And there you go. That's the process of installing this thing. And like I said, I have had some experience and just practice doing this, so the tops of my fingers are starting to get all scraped up right now. Not very happy about that. And I'm also I also have a lot of paint that is rubbed off or scraped off onto the tops of my fingers from this interior body detail. Now to remove it, it's going to be actually, thankfully, much easier. And take off the two body clips, same thing as before. Just pop that off, doesn't really matter so much. Pull these down one at a time. You might want to hold this lower piece back a little bit. Very, very simple. A two-handed operation makes it much easier. And pull this down again. Try to pull it straight down. This is actually being a little bit of a butt. There we go. And then pull these back, these lower pieces. You can see it kind of lifts the battery up a little bit. Try to stick finger in here and start to rotate the battery out. Again, rotation is the primary word of the day here. It's rotating it. It's going to bend the roll cage a little bit here, and it's also, again, scraping against the body, but it will come right out. And that was way, way easier. And done. So that's that. Hope that was useful for you to watch that process. If you don't have this style of battery, you've got this style of battery. They're more racing style with the removable terminals. I'm going to do a separate video showing you how the process works with one of these. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.